Yeah. Ah, we're back. We are back from an epic 3 weeks in non-ordinary reality. That was I'm so glad that you're here to sit in on the postmortem on how it all went. And, the film of this vacation, starting with the training in Mexico and then the vacation in Portugal, I have to say just like bravo. I'm gonna give it overall like a B plus. It was a solid B plus. A couple, we there were a few little things. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. But for the most part, epic. And mm, music, music direction, freaking nailed it. Nailed it. I love you. You know I love you. And this trip, you did not let me down. You didn't. The the soundtrack for the Miyazaki cottage moment, that scene, that soundtrack, never been better. Never been better. That was fucking incredible. So we'll talk more about that. But locations. Oh my God. I mean, that 15th century Spanish castle with the frickin' 4 pools and the flowers everywhere and the cavernous rooms inside and the frickin' pony, the baby horse, like you I, I don't even know what to say. That was amazing. That was amazing. Excellent job, location. And it was, like, in Portugal too. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, the hiking along the ridge line with the clouds floating up on both sides of me. Uh, I do love being brought to tears from awe, especially, like, being in awe of nature is my favorite, and wow. That was I didn't get my sunsets, but man, did you make up for it just on that hike alone. That was spectacular. The costumes, I loved them. All especially the ladies. The ladies showed up in this one, and they universally just amazing, fun, like, great. Just I mean, in the yes, awesome job, and so sexy. So pretty and so sexy. God, are you kidding me with that? Yeah. So you know who you are. You know who you are. Mm. Some of my favorite scenes. I mean, right out of the gate, I gotta say that the Portuguese restaurant filled with all of the like locals and all of those different singers coming in and singing those traditional Portuguese songs. And like, you can see the people just like nodding their heads because they're like in nostalgia and just loving it. And then when everyone broke into song on the choruses, like, ah, God, that was so good. That was so good. It really did. That was a really, really lovely way to, like, put a little button on the whole Portugal thing. The the epic storm, like, that windstorm that came in when we were right on the top of that medieval castle. Amazing. So fun. The oh God, I mean, the I could go on and on. I talked about the hike along the ridge line and the cloud, the rainbows. The rainbows in the clouds, and it just the beauty, really, really, truly beautiful. The cottage looked like I was in a Miyazaki film. Like, what? That was I will that will be such a that cottage scene, mm. Especially, the one of the funniest moments was that cooktop in the cottage where, like, it didn't matter what button you pressed, it just didn't work, and so now I'm just, like, randomly, like, playing it like a piano or something, and then all of a sudden it turns on, and then we have to, like, figure out what I just did in order to figure out that was such a fun puzzle and hilarious. So, yeah, that is I love that humor. I'm here for that all day long. That was amazing. And the travel shenanigans. I actually, I super appreciate it because I recognize that it really was just setting me up perfectly for the rest of the time. So much gratitude for that, but at the time, like, the frickin' Pueblo. Pueblo from out of nowhere is, like, not the stopper of me getting to Lisbon once, but twice. That was hilarious. I mean, I show up at the airport at 10 in the morning, I am catching the connection at 8 o'clock in PM in New York, and then getting there the next morning so I can catch a little puddle jumper. And first you're like, "Oh, the plane is not here. It's in Pueblo, and we're having trouble getting it here because it's too big and they don't know how to fuel it in Pueblo." Which I like that. That's hilarious. I didn't even know that was a thing. But still, it's like hours. We've got hours and hours and hours until it gets to be too late for me to make that connection. And you're like, "Oh, the plane's gonna leave now at 3 o'clock." And I'm, like, doing the math, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna just make it. It's gonna be tight, but I'm just gonna make it." And then you're like, "Oh, we're sorry. It's actually gonna be 3:30." And I'm like, "Okay." Now I am not making it. And so when I go to the desk and now they found a different flight and it's going completely, like, through Boston, then through Paris, then to Lisbon, but it's still going to get me there. And I'm like, okay, guess I am supposed to go to Lisbon today. And then the plane arrives and it looks like we're about to board. And they're like, "I'm sorry, this plane's gonna be even further delayed because the flight crew is stuck in Pueblo." So that's so fucking funny. So, yeah, I knew at that point I wasn't going. I got it. I got it. I got it at that point, but it was a pretty funny way to have it unfold, and I actually really loved my day in Boston. That was really cool, and on top of it, the way that everything got rearranged, perfect. Perfect. I loved it. I loved it, and then the way home, like, this super easy flow home, that was amazing too. Ugh, that was so good. I mean, come on. I get off my plane, I'm like, I wonder if I don't need a 6-hour layover and if there's an earlier flight." And the flight is happening in 51 minutes, and I just cruise on up, and you guys are like, "Boop, boop, boop, here you go, get on this plane," and then I have a whole row to myself. That was amazing. I'm giving you whoever was a travel coordinator for this vacation. Well, except for the Lisbon airport. I don't what was that? It was like we were, like, in a weird trap. We couldn't find our way out of the airport? That was so weird. That was not a good way to arrive in Lisbon. That was definitely we're taking points off for that. That was just and the Uber driver canceling and, like, no, that was not cute, but, the rest of it was super cute. So we won't dwell. We won't dwell on that. It was a brief moment. It was a brief moment. All right. So yeah, actually, we will dwell on it one more, like, seriously, the multiple elevators that open that have no room for us because they're filled with, like, super angry people and dog crates? Like, what? That's just weird. That's just weird. No one wants that. And the weird Mexico food thing. Like, why did I keep getting like, I would order something and I would get a totally different thing, like, a completely different thing. That was also, like, weird. And okay, so here's my big note. This is my big note, and I'm gonna go into this by saying that every single person I met on this trip was a brilliant teacher. Loved every single person for their ability to teach me. Some of them teach in ways that are more fun than others. So there's that. But I've got some thoughts. Just some ideas. We just there's a few bad actors. There's a few bad actors, and I'm just gonna call it out. I hate to say it, but here's the thing. It's just they're not bad. It's just maybe they're not supposed to be in my film. That's all. They're perfect for a different film. Like really good for a different film. But my film is like a little bit more nuanced, I would say. So, like, and this is what I've been thinking about, right? Like, you got to have actors who can get off script, right? They have to have gotten to the place where they can improvise and they can get off script because like it's all about fun and aliveness. And I get it. I heard rejection is redirection, blah blah blah. I think with that, like I'm gonna go into this like a little bit philosophically later. We don't need to get into it now, but do we really need to get to rejection in order to redirect? And are you sure that you want to redirect even? Like, I'm here to light people up, and that's just fun for everyone. So like why not let it play out? Like, see where it goes. We're in non-ordinary reality. Why are you bringing ordinary reality into the thing in the form of people? Like, it, you, you know, you can't have too much fun. You can't. I know that we have been told that. I know that we've been told that, but I already know that that one's fake. That one's a false. That one's fake news. There's no such thing. It's too much fun. so, so yeah. So like there were times when I met people and there was this fun kind of like spark and then it would just be like shut down. And I don't get that. I don't get that because it's just not fun. Like why? Why? It's not that it's not even just not fun. Like it's just like it's kind of awkward and confusing for I think for everyone, really. It's like a little tiny bit maybe mean, but me, like whatever. But like think about I don't know. I just think about like I don't know. I see potential. I know, I see potential in a lot of things. So again, you're the EP, you know what's best, but I mean just give me something more to work with, I guess. So I like the writers. I like the writers. But I feel like we could have had more fun. I think that we left some nuggets of gold. I think we left some money on the table. And, that's just me, more. So, yeah, that's it. Those are the main notes. I will tell you this, like, I'm having a hard time, like, kinda settling back into, my life after that. I've dialed it back. I'm back to the juice instead of the wine, and I've been smoking my fake cigarettes. We're back to we're getting back on track slowly but surely. Um, and no notes for me. Have I got notes for myself? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I still was, you know, I wasn't myself. I wasn't I still wasn't myself at the training. I was closer, but I still wasn't really I need a sidekick. I need a sidekick. That's what I need. And then I can be myself, like fully. So yeah, I definitely, you know, if yeah, definitely. That could have gone either I've already played like, there's so many different things I've thought about that I could have done differently. So many different things. There's many choices. Starting with just, like, even just fucking calling all the things out, you know? I it's probably the container where I, like, could have just been like, "Hey," but but I did though. Like, I feel like I did. Yeah. Well, there's always room for improvement in there. There's always room for improvement. So, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. You know, I'm open to feedback. I'm open to feedback. If you were with me on this journey, and you've got some notes, send them my way. I would love to hear them. And I'm so glad I met you. If you're listening to this and you're new here, welcome. And I think you're probably new because I met you, and I am so glad to know you. And I hope we stay in touch. Bye.